folks, how you doing? I'm Maffmanjones of Maffmanjones Reviews, and this is a review for the Avengers. So the Avengers is directed by Joss Whedon and stars Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, and Samuel L. Jackson, Cobie Smulders, Gregg, Scarlett Johnansson, Jeremy Renner, Tom Hiddleston. What you get from the story is that Loki basically was trapped in deep space, and he was trained by some crazy aliens and somebody who I will not say. And now he's a badass, and now he's going to take an army of aliens to Earth to take over and rule, because, as he would say, us, were made to be ruled. But now Nick Fury has to assemble the Avengers and get them together and get along in order to stop Loki and his army of aliens. But who cares? He has an army. They have a Hulk. Don't worry about spoilers. I would never spoil a movie anyway. I had to put it out there because some would be like, oh, you gonna spoil a movie? I was lucky enough to attend a screening in New York City a couple days ago. But the question on everybody's mind has to be, how good was the Avengers? Is Joss Whedon going to pull this off? Is he going to create a cinematic masterpiece, an event, something that people will remember for the rest of their lives? I mean, if it was something else like, how was Scarlett Johnansson? That question's obvious. It was brilliant. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Tony Stark. He was very witty and comical like he was in the original movies, and that's what makes him great. But what also makes him great is he's very dramatic. And when serious things happen, the tone shifts for Tony Stark, and Robert Downey Jr. plays all the aspects of his character very well. Me. Just, I love me. I love me so much. I'm so happy I don't want to drink a beer. Remember what happened last time I drank beer? I became an alcoholic. Chris Evans, Captain America. Somehow, he became a lot more embodied into the role, and he just fits Steve Rogers' Captain America. His acting by far was great too, and I can't see anybody else in that suit. Chris Hemsworth as Thor, he's much less arrogant this time around, much less arrogant. He's actually very selfless, and I actually was really impressed by his performance in this movie. You humans are so petty and tiny. I am Thor, God of Thunder. Bah, bah. Oh shit. Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner and Hulk motion capture. Putting it out there, I think he was better than Edward Norton. He channeled Bill Bixby from the original '70s show very, very much. Mark Ruffalo took the role and really embraced it, and I think he embraced it even more because he had a lot to live up to, and I don't think he wanted fans to put a pitchfork up his ass. Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. He actually has a role this time around. And for what he's given to do, he's great. Scarlett Johnansson and Jeremy Renner as their respective roles, Black Widow and Hawkeye. Both of them are great in this movie for what they're given to do. Scarlett Johnansson is hot. No shit. And Jeremy Renner is really buff. Gregg is back as Agent Coulson. He has so much great witty dialogue, and he actually has a chance to shine as an actual badass in this movie. Mariah Hill, who was played by Cobie Smulders from How I Met Your Mother. I actually found her more attractive than Scarlett Johnansson in this movie. Yes. Aside from being hot, that's not what really matters here. Yes, it is. But she was great acting, too. Which, she wasn't given that much to do. But when she was there, she shined. And finally, the villain of the show, Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston. In Thor, he was menacing and evil, not like this movie. I don't know what he did in the dark realms of space between Thor and Avengers. He became a creepy, crazy man. He freaking scary. And Tom Hiddleston's such a great actor. He can convey the emotions that he's feeling through his eyes. And every time he made that little that little creepy smile, I just really wanted to shit my pants. There's one thing he does in this movie. You're gonna want his head. As soon as it happened with me in the screening, everybody was like, no! Now that I've discussed all the characters, people are probably wondering, oh, how was their screen time? Were they evenly balanced? And let me tell you, I have no... It puzzles me, like, in the greatest way. Everybody has a fair and balanced amount of screen time. They all have their moments to shine. They all have their great dialogue. Nobody's left in the shadows for too long. Did I just reference the song? And the moments that all these characters have to shine are either good or straight out memorable and great. Especially from the big four, Hulk steals the show. Every time Hulk was on screen, something memorable and iconic and great was happening. The interactions in this movie between just the human characters and then the superheroes, both amazing. Obviously, they're not gonna get along at first. So the clashing dialogue between certain characters is great. And there are aspects to certain relationships with other characters' relationships that are awesome. The action in this movie, unlike a Michael Bay movie, which is base explosions, pa, 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 hot girl. Oh, look, a Transformer. Oh, look, Shia LaBeouf. No. The action in this movie actually complements the story. The action is commenced based on what's actually happening in the movie, and it feels natural. And even on top of that, the action in this movie is memorable and stunning. I've heard people say, oh, how's the New York City battle at the end? Is it short, disappointing? Hell no, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of the most memorable action sequences I have seen since I was arisen from my mother's womb. Joss Whedon wrote the screenplay and directed this movie. He took the big task, and he must have been stressed the hell out. His dialogue and everything was so witty but naturalistic that it just went with a great flow. And then people are going to go, oh, who directed? Oh, that guy Joss Whedon. We should get him for our next movie. It's going to happen. The biggest ginger in Hollywood. It lived up to the hype. It has everything you want in a summer blockbuster. You have great characters. You have great interactions between the characters and great clashes. And you have great dialogue bouncing off of that. Great drama, great comedy, memorable, amazing action sequence that you can actually see and not shaky cam. There was barely, I don't think there was any shaky cam in this movie. It was all focused and straight out, and you could see everything that was going on. And there were some great tracking shots too. Oh my god. This movie is almost perfect in all aspects, and Joss Whedon found a way to balance everything perfectly. My favorite comic book movie of all time is The Dark Knight. I've made my decision, and now, Dark Knight, you have been dethroned. I can't find any real flaws in the Avengers. I could find flaws in Dark Knight. I'm going to give the Avengers 5 out of 5 stars. And since it's a perfect score, this movie is Maffmanjones. If you haven't seen the individual Avengers movies, you can still go into this and love it. If you enjoyed this review, please subscribe right there. I really hope you go see this movie May 4th. Do not miss out on the Avengers. This is a cinematic event. This is a must-see. I am Maffmanjones. See you next time. All the other guys, Captain America, Thor, all those guys, they're okay. They're okay, but me, I'm the star. Everybody relies on me because I am the man. I am Tony Stark. I built this franchise.